everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, which is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
One of these days you're going to mess that up. You've never messed that up. We're like 200 plus episodes, and there's all these bloopers out there, and they're all me.
That's not true.
Okay, 99.9% of them are me. Anyway, yes, Freedom Through Passive Income.
Yes.
And welcome to another episode, and this one is entitled Him versus Her.
No, it's not.
Okay, so it's collectibles and nice cars versus passive income.
For us, it's you versus me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because like I said the other day, the Donnie Marie show, you're a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll. I need a mullet.
Anyways, we actually had this conversation at dinner. I think one night, right? We were talking about cars.
Yep. Shocker.
Yeah, for you. And so it was something that I said, that's as we grow older, you start realizing. No, we were talking about artwork too. About all the artwork that we have in the office. We used to be art auctioneers. Flip was the art auctioneer. I was just the person on the side feeding him art to put up there to sell.
Right.
But we talked about it, and I think all of our art, it's probably appraised $250 to $300, somewhere in that ballpark. He's got sport collectibles and things like that. So that kind of got our conversations going. And I was just like, this is like stuff that we invested in a long time ago, and it doesn't produce passive income for us.
No.
It's beautiful. Look at this original Gockel right here behind us. For those of you watching, not listening, you can see it. It's an original. It was actually painted to wall. Flip was on while he was auctioning in a live auction. Alfred Gockel was in the back of the room painting it, and we were going to auction it off. And ultimately, Flip and I bought it. And I just thought, look at all this expensive artwork we have everywhere. And it's not providing us any passive income. Nope. At all.
Zero.
And now they've learned the power of passive income. We had bought it because, we tend to invest in the things that we do because we believe in what we're doing so much. We just invest in it. So now we're here talking about real estate. We invest in real estate. When we were art auctioneers, we invested in artwork. But it really kind of made a quick distinction to me that, hey, I wish I would have learned about passive income a lot sooner. I wish that we would have taken that money and said, let's put it in something that's going to pay us back every single month or every single quarter or every single year or whatever it was, as opposed to sitting on a wall, maybe appreciating, maybe not, but certainly not giving us money to pay our bills or to go eat or do whatever. Ultimately, if we had learned that lesson a lot sooner, maybe we would have retired.
Correct.
And so now you can talk about cars because that directly related to cars. And we were talking about, hey, we're selling my 2 cars. Maybe I should buy a car. And I was like, I don't want to buy a car. I want to put my money into stuff that's going to give me passive income.
Yeah. But passive income doesn't drive you down the street.
No, but me using one of your cars does.
I don't think that was the point. But it's hard too because there's some cars that you can buy and they will either hold their value, which that's worth it right there.
Sure.
Most cars they depreciate the second you drive it off the lot.
Yep.
Now there are cars out there that will hold their value, and so I mean that's sort of it, but it's not passive income.
Yeah, it's not giving you a monthly check.
No, and it's not. But I will say, selling a car that holds its value is a whole lot easier than selling a work of art.
Oh, for sure.
Because you have to find the
right buyer.
You have to find the right room.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's like with sports memorabilia. Because I've got a lot of sports memorabilia. You can't sell. Michael Jordan's kind of different because everybody likes Michael Jordan.
Sure.
But if you have say you bought a Brett Favre jersey, I bet you I could not sell that Brett Favre jersey to a Chicago Bears fan. Just they hate each other.
Right.
And so you gotta be in the right room. So it's hard to sell. You gotta find the person that wants to buy it. Cars, it's easy. They're cars. Find a guy.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Not all women. I'm just saying some women buy cars too. I don't know who they are, but some women buy cars too.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't have anything against collectibles or nice cars, but I felt like the conversation was worth having, and sharing on a podcast episode. Because even the nice cars, I love nice cars. We talked about the new Corvette, right? I've loved Corvettes since a very, very young age. So I'm so thrilled that you got a Corvette as your first car. And I'm going to learn how to drive the stick shift. And last night we even said we probably won't sell that one because it is a stick shift.
It's a stick shift. it's a relic. It's a lost art form. They call it and please, I don't mean to offend anyone that's watching this.
Or listening.
The car dealer said, "Do you know how to drive a stick?" And I said, "Yes, I actually did driver's training on a stick." He goes, "Oh, good, because we call it the millennials security guard."
Theft device. Anti-theft device.
Millennial anti-theft device, because no millennial knows how to drive a stick. I thought that was funny. It was not my joke. I'm just re-saying somebody else's joke, so you can't be mad at me.
That's right.
Even though I think it's funny.
Yes, yeah. but I love nice cars. But like there comes a time where once you make this realization that, hey, do I want to spend my money on this that is not going to produce passive income, or do I want to spend my money on this? And I'm a big proponent of passive income because of the peace of mind that it gives me, right? My money is working for me. It's beating inflation, or at least keeping up with inflation. It's not losing money sitting in the bank account, just, doing nothing. We do it with investment vehicles where we know we have the preservation of capital. So we're not like the fear of going to zero like it could in the stock market isn't us, because that's not where we invest. And I would rather have all of that and get to the point where I've got enough passive income that like I'm just not worried. I'm just so secure in what we have coming in monthly that we're not doing anything that's still coming in. So anything can happen to us. It just doesn't matter. Now I'm going to go buy the toys and the art and the nice cars. So I always, we always get asked, like, what would you change different? I think this is one of the things that I will start answering that question. Now that you and I have talked about it so often, I probably would have try to get more educated about passive income and how it affects your life. But when you're young, you're just like, ooh, I want a toy. I want artwork. I want this. I want that. So I just found it very interesting conversation for us, and just wanted to share it with people.
Awesome. I loved it. And we'll probably have another conversation about this tonight at dinner anyway. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you're heading on over to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, to join the Investor Club. And we have a classic car club. We have an artwork club. No, just kidding.
You're ridiculous.
And also check us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Smart. No, there's no Smart.
It does not even. Anyway, social media, check us out.
Thank you very much. But we like to end all of our episodes with
Invest Smart,
Live Happy. Bye, everybody.
Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on this show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss.